and welcome to, I'm going to get my slides going. There we go, all right. Welcome to State of the Schools. Thanks so much for being here. I want to send one more shout out. I don't know if any of you are here today, but I want to say a huge thank you to my band mates that made our back to school video so much fun this year. We had a great time putting that together. One fun way to get us going and excited for another school year. I also want to say one big thank you before we get started to the Chamber of Commerce. We could not do this every year without their support and help. So a huge thank you again to the Noblesville Chamber for all your support. So this year, we always think a little bit about what's going to be our theme. What are we going to talk about during State of the Schools this year? And as many of you know by now, if you've been around town and seen the banners and everything going on, this is the year that we are celebrating 100 years of being the Noblesville Millers. And so what an appropriate thing to celebrate and talk about as we celebrate our schools of everything going on here as we celebrate this milestone. And we thought, what better place to have that celebration than right here in our newest learning space here at Noblesville School. So welcome, thanks for being here. We have a lot of things to celebrate, so let's get started. I want to start by celebrating our 5 elected members of your school board who are sitting right here at this table. I appreciate they all sat together to make it easy for me to point them out. Over the last few years, I want to brag on our board for just a little bit. The last few years, our board has truly made a commitment to ongoing learning, professional development, and growing themselves not only as individual leaders, but as a collective team. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that they have done. And a couple of very real awards and recognitions to speak to that are, the board itself was just named one of only 5 boards in the entire state of Indiana that earned the Indiana School Board Association Exemplary Board Award. And it's the first time in Noblesville history that's been achieved. So a huge congratulations. On an individual level, I also want to share a special shout out to our board president, Christy Crosser, who was one of only 25 board presidents in the state to earn the President's Gold Seal Leadership Certification through ISBA. And last thing I have to say, they are such a critical part of everything we do at Noblesville Schools. Their leadership and passion and energy they bring to our team is so appreciated. I just want to take just a quick second and acknowledge all of our district level leaders for their tireless work and everything that they do to lead everything that happens day in and day out around our district and make our schools amazing. So a huge thank you to our district leaders. And also, of course, I want to celebrate and thank our 10 building principals. When I think about our principals, their leadership, their care ensures that every child who walks through our doors every single day is going to be safe, they're going to be cared for, and we know they're going to get the best learning experience possible here at Noblesville Schools. And I want to especially acknowledge and thank our 2 newest principals, Angie Gingrich and Dr. Mobley. So congratulations to them, and congratulations to all of us. We are also blessed. We are also very blessed to have so many strong partnerships with those who have been elected to represent us. I want to acknowledge a few folks that are here in the room with us today. First off, I want to thank Senator Scott Baldwin for being here. I've been a tireless supporter of Noblesville Schools, as well as Representative Elena Shawn-Filer, and of course, someone all of us know very well, our own Mayor Chris Jensen. Thank you so much for everything that they do to lead and serve our community. Quite a few members of our city council I've seen throughout, and lots of other elected officials. So again, thank you all so much for everything you do. We know what a tireless job it can be to be in those roles, and your leadership is so important to keep our city moving forward. So thank you. At this time, can I have everyone who is a Miller Ambassador to stand for just a second? So this is actually we actually have another pretty exciting milestone that just happened here at Noblesville Schools. We have just surpassed 200 Miller Ambassadors. And this program, if you're not familiar with it, this is a program that was started about 8 or 9 years ago. It was the vision of Mrs. Cook. And the whole idea is helping members of our community have a better understanding of everything it takes to make our school district what it is. And so I want to thank these individuals for their commitment, the time that they put into going through the class, and perhaps more importantly, the goodwill that they continue to share out in our community about everything that we do here. So again, huge thank you to all of our Miller Ambassadors currently in class. Up here on the screen, this is a picture of some members of our Noblesville Rotary Club. And I wanted to feature this in particular because our Rotary Club has donated over $16,000 over the last few years to our Noblesville High School robotics team. And this is just one example. If we had time, I would have so many other pictures to share, but this is just one small example of the incredible generosity that is shown by our community all of the time. We have so many partners who support our students including workforce development, career fairs, internships, and many social support services as well. So again, if you offer opportunities for our students through sponsorships, scholarships, or any of those support things, would you please stand? We want to make sure we thank you as well, because we have so many of those employers and support organizations here with us today. Thank you so much. Another area I want to talk about just for a second, that you wouldn't know it from the title of the slide, but another partnership that is so very important are the many partnerships that we have in place to support our students. And I specifically want to talk for a second about student mental health. I don't think it's a secret anymore that student mental health is something that continues to be a growing need. And that's not just here in Noblesville, that's for many schools all throughout the United States. There are things on the rise such as anxiety, suicide ideation, and many other mental health concerns for our children. And these are very real concerns and things that we worry about a lot and really focus on addressing. So a few things I want to mention specifically. We have a great partnership with the City of Noblesville, our school district, and Noblesville Schools Education Foundation. We've developed a mental health partnership to work on these needs. We also have some partnerships with Aspire, which provides same-day access to new behavioral health patients at their health centers, including the Noblesville Center. We also have partnerships with Community Health. They provide community therapists and life skills clinicians, and they're located in our schools, and we're hand in hand with our teachers, counselors, parents, and our students. And just to give you a scope and kind of an idea of the scope of this work, our counselors and social workers had over 25,000 individual and group sessions and lessons in our schools last year. So this continues to be very important, something we take very seriously in Noblesville, and will continue to serve in the years ahead. So, on the screen behind me, you're seeing 8 very important, very recognizable, I'm guessing, individuals from our community here in Noblesville. And these particular 8 individuals were our inaugural Noblesville Schools Hall of Fame class. They were nominated by members of the community, and they were selected as individuals who have made a lasting, meaningful impact on our school system. And so we are so proud of them and for all their achievements and accomplishments and so much of their heart that they have poured into our schools. So looking forward, this is a rendering of our new Hall of Fame courtyard. And just to give you an idea of where this sits, if you're looking at the image here, the building you can see on the right is the community center. The fence over on the left is Beaver Stadium. And then you can't see it because they didn't put it in the drawing, but looking forward, that would be East Middle School straight ahead of you. And so this is right there in that spot. And I will tell you, a lot of thought went into where exactly to place this, where would be the best location. And we wanted it to be in a spot where the most people would get to see it and enjoy it. And so this is where it landed. We will be holding an official induction for the 8 individuals, the class of 2025 that I showed you just a minute ago. That will be happening in April, so be on the lookout for more information because we will definitely want to have a celebration with those 8. And right now, we are already taking nominations on our website for the upcoming class of 2026. So if you have someone in mind that you feel would be very deserving of this award, please submit that nomination so that we can start considering those in a few months. Another really fun celebration that I'm not sure everyone's aware of, but it's such a neat story I wanted to share today. Several years ago, the Richardson family donated this historic bell to our school corporation. The bell used to hang at the second board school. I don't know how many of us know what that even is. I had to do some reading myself to understand what a board school was, but it used to hang there. And that was on the site of where Seminary Park is now. And it was also the building that housed our first high school years and years and years ago. So after doing some research, we've learned that the bell is likely from at least the 1850s, but it's actually very possible it could even be older than that. So their partnership has now formed between our school district, the City of Noblesville, the Preservation Alliance, and the Richardson family. And there's a lot of working and ideas going on right now with the city to give it a permanent home in Seminary Park so that our entire community has a chance to enjoy this amazing landmark. So be on the lookout for that as well. So we'll celebrate a few facility things going on. We always have a few maintenance and construction projects going on throughout the district. We're a very large district, and there's a lot of buildings to maintain and update and keep safe and comfortable for our students. But the most obvious project, we're standing in the middle of it, right? So this is one, and you're going to get to go explore in just a few minutes to see that, so I will talk about that one in a minute. But there's a few other projects going on right now that I want to tell you about if you go around the district over the next few weeks. Out at East Middle School, there's an athletic building being built. This building, if you ever were in the one that used to be on this site, was well past its time. I hear laughs, people know what I'm talking about, I think. It had served its purpose, but it was time to go. And so this new facility is being built. It will be a restroom area, concessions, tickets, and honestly just kind of a gateway into the athletic complexities. So we're very excited to be able to make that happen for our students. We're also building a new softball locker room facility out of the softball field. So if you drive by there, that's what's going in over there, because they absolutely need a nice facility out there. And then there's always some maintenance projects. There's some other things, if you've attended board meetings in the last few months, we're in the midst of updating all of the air handler units here in the high school. Obviously not the new wing, because they're brand new, but the rest of the building, believe it or not, the majority of the building is about 30 years old. And so it's just time to replace and update those things. And as always, we have lots of paving projects going on around the district as well, just to stay on top of our maintenance needs. So I've talked a lot about some celebrations. I do want to pause for a minute and talk about a few challenges that we are facing here at Noblesville Schools. And honestly, I'm going to speak a little bit on behalf of all public schools in the state of Indiana, because some of the things I'm going to talk about are not unique to us. They are affecting public education in the state of Indiana. So many of you have probably heard of SCA 1. It was called SB 1 there for a long time, and it was still a bill. It is now Senate Enrolled Act 1. And this bill made pretty significant changes to how property taxes work in the state of Indiana. And the stated goal at the time by the legislature was to provide some property tax relief for members of our communities, and I think that is certainly a noble goal. However, some of those changes that have happened have also had some consequences for all of our local units of government. So schools are considered a local unit of government, so is our city, so is our township, our county, our libraries. All of these entities are funded through local property taxes. And so, again, I won't rehash many of the things you've probably already read in the news about some of that, but I will just summarize to say, at Noblesville Schools, this will have an impact of several $1 million to our annual budget in the wrong direction, just because of the way that property tax collections will change in the years ahead. Another financial challenge that we're facing right now at Noblesville Schools is, and this is actually a very common misunderstanding, so I want to address this right now. Even though the city of Noblesville itself continues to grow and expand, and as you drive around, there are new neighborhoods all over the place, and we're seeing lots of growth, and it's very exciting. Believe it or not, Noblesville Schools enrollment is actually slowly declining. And when I say that, people usually get this puzzled look on their face, because anyone who drives around thinks, well, how is that possible? I'm seeing the things I just mentioned. But it is possible. And there's some factors behind that. But at the end of the day, what matters most is that the rate of people perhaps leaving their homes and moving in, and the rate of new growth just isn't keeping up anymore with the rate of many of us who are empty nesters. So I'll speak on my behalf. You know, our child is a senior. He's going to graduate next year, and I have no plans to go anywhere at all. So a family is not going to get my house. I'm going to keep my house. And so there's always that balance in every community of that turnover. And at the end of the day, our senior class is outpacing our kindergarten class is probably the easiest way to say it. So that's important. And the reason I have that on the financial slide, of course, is that in the state of Indiana, the majority of our funding that pays for teacher salaries and education comes from the student funding formula, and it follows the student. So this is very important for us. It's something we are watching very carefully, and we're making some decisions right in the district of how to manage that if that trend were to continue in the years ahead. In spite of all of that, our staff, of course, is continuing to work so hard to make sure that we keep giving every child the most outstanding educational experience possible every single day here at Noblesville Schools. The one other financial challenge I have to mention while we're on this slide is that our district is currently so incredibly blessed by our community to be supported through an operational referendum. The last referendum was passed back in 2018. In case to help everyone kind of know how referendum works, it can be for a maximum of 8 years, but after 8 years they do automatically sunset. And so to maintain that funding, you need to have another community conversation about it, and the community ultimately has to vote on a ballot box. And so our referendum, you just heard me say, was put in place in 2018. So if you do quick math, 8 years is 2026. So our referendum will naturally sunset on December 31st, 2026. So that is a very large, very personal, very intentional community conversation to have of whether or not that is renewed. That is something that the board will have to make a decision of whether they ask the question. And then truly, the decision rests with all of our taxpayers and voters right here in Noblesville Township. And so this, I will just say in summary so that we can move forward, this is a critical piece of our funding. It supports so many programs for our children, so many teacher salaries and class size initiatives and all sorts of other things that is just very, very important, and we're so blessed by that. So look for more information to come on that in the future, but that of course is a financial challenge because that does provide some uncertainty for our school corporation. So let's get back to those celebrations though. So financially, a few things that have been going on here at the district. We're very excited that for next year's budget, the board just passed the budget last week. We have decreased our tax rate for the 7th year in a row now here in Noblesville. Our bond rating is a AA bond rating, which actually gives us the highest bond rating of highest credit rating, of any school corporation in the state of Indiana. There are only, I believe, 3 others who have the same rating as us. So we're very proud of that. We worked very hard to make ourselves financially stable and financially conservative so that we have earned that rating. We have extremely strong cash reserves, which allow us to continue operating even in spite of some of those challenges that I shared on the prior slide. You may have read in the paper that just last week the board approved our new teacher contract. And so with that, even in spite of some of these challenges we're facing, due to the factors I just mentioned, we were still able to provide our teachers a modest increase this year and protect their benefits and do all sorts of things, even though we do have a stark financial reality ahead of us that we're currently working through. And finally, our debt, and we've done this for many years, our debt here at Noblesville Schools is always structured in a way that is on a very aggressive payoff schedule to ultimately save our taxpayers dollars. So very excited. And last thing, I mentioned this last year, but I want to mention it again. If you haven't had a chance yet, I would strongly encourage you to go onto our Noblesville Schools district website and check out our dollars and cents page. This is a financial transparency site that we built out and launched about sometime around the beginning of the summer to help our community better understand where our money comes from, how we spend it, and simply just how school finance works, because it's a very complicated subject, and we want our taxpayers to be informed and have access to all the information they want to know. Because at the end of the day, this money is not my money, it's not the employees' money, it's not even the board's money. We're just the ones in charge of being good stewards of those dollars, and we want our community to truly understand and feel good about the money that we're spending. So please do check that out, and if you do, if you have feedback for me, I would love to hear it, because the goal of this is truly for our community, and we want to continue improving it in the years ahead. So, let's do some more celebrations. Anybody recognize this guy? No? Representative Shunkwell has never seen him before in her life. She didn't know who that is. So, I am super excited to tell you about this guy. This is Jason Shunkwell. Isn't that funny if you didn't know who this was? I'm telling that joke. And he was just named a few months ago the Indiana School Resource Officer of the Year. So we are so incredibly proud of him and the way he serves and supports our students all the time. Absolutely. And in perfect timing, I literally found out like 4 hours ago that Jason was also appointed by the governor to serve on the Indiana Secured School Safety Board. So very proud of him for his hard work. That is such an accomplishment for him and his leadership. Speaking of our school resource officers, that's another one of those partnerships that we're so proud of and thankful for. That is, of course, not possible without 2 important partnerships. One, with the city of Noblesville, because they provide some financial support and a lot of resources for us to have such a program. But again, this is also one of those areas that is made possible through the generous support of our community through our referendum. So that is so very important to us here at Noblesville Schools. Let's talk about a few staff initiatives. So these 4 individuals here were the Noblesville School Teachers of the Year last year. And so if you look here, these were our 4. If we go right to left, this is Dean Mueller, Samantha Orr, Tricia Schreck, and then on the left is Karen Hassler, who was our overall Noblesville Schools Teacher of the Year. At the end of the day, our educators truly are the heart of everything we do. They are the ones who are with our children every single day, teaching them, guiding them, and we are so proud of them and work so hard to support them. So couldn't be more proud of our outstanding educators. Let's also talk about some other things. In addition to the Teacher of the Year program, we've also recently started a new program that focuses on our classified staff and all of our support personnel. Because as anyone knows who works in a business or works in other areas of government, there are lots of teachers and administrators who often get a lot of face time with the community, and people know those people because that's my child's teacher or my child's principal or that guy who plays guitar sometimes on videos. I've seen him. Like there's all these people who get a lot of credit and they get to meet people, but there are just as many people who work so hard every single day to make our school district what it is. And so with that in mind, we started a new awards program that we call the Miller of the Year Awards. And these honor all of our hardworking support staff here at Noblesville Schools. We've also started some monthly meetings to meet with representatives from all of our employee groups to ensure that we have a strong opportunity on a regular basis to share ideas, receive feedback from our staff, with the goal of truly just improving the working conditions for everyone who works here in our district. All of this collectively has led to increased staff retention over the last few years, and most recently, when we checked in on our staff retention, we were very excited to see that our most recent retention rate was 92%. And we're very happy about that. We want to see that continue to grow in the years ahead. So let's talk about a few student accomplishments. And again, whenever we get to this part, it's so hard to pick because there's so many. But we picked just a few things. We want to highlight a few different areas. So right here on the screen, just a few weeks ago, our very own marching millers, had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They were invited to be the closing act for the band AJR out at Ruoff Music Center. Was anybody there? I knew a few people had to be there. What an experience. I didn't get to be there, but the video was amazing. What a memorable experience. So very proud of them. Sticking with music, our Noblesville High School Orchestra represented Indiana in a national competition. They were the only group in the state chosen by Music for All National Festival to perform there this past spring. Wind Ensemble also recently qualified for state finals for the second time in school history. Our top jazz band was the only band in the state chosen to perform with the internationally famous jazz artist Wynton Marsalis at the Palladium in Carmel. Was anybody at that concert? I was. That was unbelievable. That was such an experience. It was so great performance. So proud of our kids. Moving on to Winter Color Guard. Winter Color Guard secured their second state championship and a bronze medal finish in their World's competition. And then athletically speaking, we've actually had a flurry of activity just in the last few days. A few weeks ago, our girls golf team was named the state runner-up. That's what you can see there on the screen. But just in the last, 72, 96 hours, we had several exciting finishes. Our boys cross-country team was named state runner-up at their state finals on Saturday. And then that same day, our JV cheerleading team got state runner-up, and the varsity cheerleading was named state champions, all on the same day. So pretty exciting day for me. This picture, I want to point something out. Depending on how great your eyes are, maybe you can read the little subtext or not. But something new that's going on that is really exciting is the formation of our Miller Sports Media student journalists. They are now photographing and covering all of our Miller sports teams. So this photo was not taken by one of us. This was taken by one of our students. So very proud of their work also. Be on the lookout for all sorts of new initiatives that group will also be doing. And let's talk about the most important things we do, a few academic achievements as we wrap up today. I want to celebrate a few amazing things that have been going on. Last year, we were very excited to find out we had 5 National Merit Scholars, or finalists, which is the highest number we've had at Noblesville High School in many, many years. 2 of our Noblesville High School students were named Lilly Scholars, which for those who aren't familiar with the Lilly program, that is a full-ride scholarship. And that happened in the same year. That is extremely rare. That rarely ever happens to 2 students from the same school would earn that. This is the 11th year in a row that we were nationally recognized for our music education programs, and the 8th year in a row for national recognition for our STEM programming. Our class of 2025 boasted a 98% graduation rate, very proud. We had 227 AP scholars, and the high school earned its highest rating ever from the AP College Board. Our seniors earned well over $5 million in scholarships to help support their education after high school. We saw increases to our I-room scores. And then a special event I want to tell you about for just a second. I don't have a photo of this, but I do want to mention it. Something that was started about a year ago here at Noblesville High School. It was noticed that we had some students that due to some medical issues or some challenges that they may have, they were not able to participate in our traditional graduation ceremony with their peers. And so several of our staff had this great idea of what if we had a special ceremony just for these students. And so, this past year, or 2 years ago rather, we had it for the first time. This last year, we did it again, and it's affectionately called the Golden Graduation. And I will tell you, for those who've been blessed to attend, what an unbelievably touching ceremony. It was so special, and gives those students the chance to be recognized and feel the excitement of graduation just like everyone else. So, super proud of that. And looking forward, something you've probably heard a lot about in the news, and maybe you've heard us mention a little bit in Noblesville schools. You're probably aware by now that the diploma requirements have changed in Indiana. So all high schools in Indiana are currently revamping their offerings, looking at how best to serve those students. So be on the lookout again in the months ahead as we continue to evolve and adapt all of our programming and course offerings to make sure that we are offering every opportunity possible for our students as they prepare for those new requirements. Which leads actually to the last few things we're going to talk about right here in the new wing. So, because many of the initiatives that are happening right here in the new wing of the high school are tied to the ever-evolving needs of employers and the changes that are coming from the state in terms of graduation. So, I'm just going to show you a few images of things that you're going to get to see in person as soon as I stop talking. So, right up here, this one is taken in one of our engineering and robotics spaces right behind you, right behind the stairwell there. So you'll see there we have a few students working on some projects there. You'll get to see that space right in that room back there. The construction trades room. So this is the room, while construction was going on, that I bet I got the most questions about. Because whenever anybody drove around the circle with N, this is the space you could really see, the one that has the big black windows facing out. People would say, what are you putting in there? And I had some pretty crazy guesses from people what they thought it was. But what it really is our new construction trades room. It's 5,000 square feet. And when you go in there, you're going to immediately notice how tall the ceiling is. The reason is, the whole idea behind this space was that so that students could go in there and build very big things. It's fine to have a shop class and build little models of things and whatnot, but what a change for our students truly wanting to learn about construction trades when they can build a shed or a mini house or a trailer or all of the above. And then you'll notice there's a door so they can just leave the building as soon as they're done. So very exciting. Can't wait for you to get to check that out. On the upper floor, above us, is where all of our biomedical science courses are, so you'll get a chance to see those also in just a second. And then finally, I want to talk about our welding room for just a second. So when you go around this corner, just to the left of the new construction lab, you're going to see our new welding space. And I really want to make sure you go in there and look at that too. This was a priority for this space, and the reason is welding has become one of the most high-demand courses that the students want to take. And part of it is because they have the ability to earn their certifications and come out employer-ready right out of high school. And they make good money in welding because it is a very in-demand job in Indiana. One of the biggest challenges for schools is very few schools had enough capacity to offer welding to all the students who want to have welding. So when this vision for this space started taking shape, we knew welding needed to be a priority. And so when you go in there, you will see that we have created our own welding bays. We have our own instructor who's doing a phenomenal job, and we have the capacity to serve all the needs of our students here in Noblesville. So very excited, can't wait for you to get to see it. So, I'm talking really fast, and the reason is because I want to give you the most time possible to go explore our building. There's actually a lot of other things I didn't mention that I want you to see that we're going to talk about in just a second. But we are so proud of where we've been, and we're very, very excited about where we're heading. And I want to end with this picture right here. So we believe that this picture actually shows the jerseys that gave us the name the Millers. Before that, Noblesville used to be known as the... Well, that was bad. The Black and Gold is what Noblesville used to be called. Nobody knew that. Wow, okay. Well, that's what we used to be called before the Millers. So the quick story, for those who don't know, the legend of the Millers. The story goes that back in 1925, the Noblesville Milling Company offered to the school system, hey, if we buy all new athletic jerseys for your athletic teams, we'll do that if you agree to call yourself the Millers, because it was the milling company. And I understand at the time, I wasn't obviously around, but I understand that was a pretty common practice back then. That was a normal thing, so they said sure. And as Mrs. Cook likes to say a lot, and I agree with her, best marketing deal in the history of marketing deals, because that company no longer exists, and yet here we are, we're still the Millers 100 years later. So that's the story. But as I look at this picture and look at these young men there with their shiny new Miller gear on, I just think, I wonder what they would think about if they could fast forward to today and see all the experiences that we're giving students here at Noblesville and how we've grown. Those experiences truly are only possible thanks to all of you. We do not take our community support for granted. That support is one of many, many reasons why Noblesville Schools is such a great place to be. So, I want you to get to go experience all of this yourself. I want you to see all of our new learning spaces and all the updates we've made throughout the building. I want you to not only explore this end of the building, but I would encourage you, if you have time, to also go and take a walk through the rest of the building, because there's quite a few new spaces we've updated the last few years that I'd like you to see. There's been some updates in music, journalism, you really want to see that space, and some of our new athletic spaces as well. So we have students and teachers that are excited and waiting for you all throughout the building. Be sure to stop by. We have maps for you to help you know where to go if you're not familiar with the building. So make sure you grab yours, and any of us can direct you in where you want to go. So with that, I'm going to close. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to the future with you. Thank you.